Well, hi guys. This is not how we desired to do this meeting, but due to timing purposes, we wanted to get you the info today. So if you're watching this, this is our mission trip info meeting for 2026. So I'm gonna walk you through just high level vision and the trips that we'll be going on. And then Olivia Hogan, she'll come up and talk to us about all the things that we actually need to know to make the trip happen. So again, this is not how we desired to do this, but we wanted to get you the info today. Now, in the description of this video, you're probably watching this on YouTube, you can find a PDF of the flyer. You can also find the registration page. Now for this meeting, we will have the document on the screen, so you'll be able to see everything as we talk. But it's important that you know that in that description, you can find the registration page because we're going to open up registration tonight at 5 p.m. And so if you have any questions after you watch this, please feel free to reach out to Liv Hogan or myself, Liv for registration or logistic purposes, myself for anything trip related. But we will also have physical copies of this document available at the entrance of the worship center over the next few weeks. Now, something that we talk about every single year, so before we go into the weeds of everything, it's important that we understand the high-level vision of what God has called us to. And that is, as we go to serve on these particular mission trips, that we aren't looking to be the suburban or the American savior, but that we are looking to assist our partners in whatever God is calling them to. So if they ask us to help them cook goat in Rwanda, Africa, we will help them cook Michael Jordan. Kidding? Now, we'll help them cook the goat to the glory of God, right? So we want to make sure that at the least, we are setting them up for success to serve in their particular context. Just another note for us as we begin to walk through these things. Just know that the scope of ministry is subject to change. It probably won't, but it is subject to change. Also know that depending on flights, we may add or take away a day. But we will be close to said day. But I want you to get your eyes on the document that's on the screen, and let's walk through some trip details. The first trip that I want to talk about is Indianapolis. So we will potentially be serving with church planning partners. So Ascend, most likely, potentially Doxa might be in that. And then we'll also look to serve with our partners, ministry partners, Renewal Neighborhood Ministry. The price for this trip is the price of the deposit, $25. And the date for that is July 17th and 18th. Now, this is to be determined, but the idea, hope, for us in service is engaging the community. If possible, the baseball facility like we did last year, some park outreach, helping Renewal engage their community, and possibly linking arms with church partners to engage the lost with the gospel. Even last year we did the Ascend apartment parties, and those were really, really rich for us. The capacity for this is 30 people, and the age limit is 11 and up. 16 and under must be accompanied by an adult. I want to go to Harlem now. We'll be serving with Luke Calvert and team, Cultivate New York City and team. The price for that is $565 to make sure that we could keep that price that low. The church will be covering the lodging, but your price will cover flights, food, train car, things like that. The dates for this, June 7th through the 14th. Now, heads up for you. If you have plans for camp, those dates are June 9th through the 13th. And I ask that you prioritize that. If you have to pick between one or the other, pick camp so that we can make sure that that's a great experience for that student ministry and for the student ministry team, for all the teenagers. So please make sure that you aren't doing this instead of that. If you want to do both, that's great, but please prioritize camp. But our scope of ministry, we will be engaging Harlem in a multitude of ways, right? Family Day. That's some light missional engagement for low-income housing families. We'll be handing out coffee and water while having gospel conversations and putting on a family outreach in West Harlem. We might even do some hot dog outreach and things like that. Also, Pastor Luke is currently wanting to discover another place to potentially plant a church. So there's another area in the city that he may take that team to just do some discovery ministry. Capacity for this trip is 10, age limit 18 and up. Now, just a quick disclaimer, and I just want to tell you to not see these disclaimers as a deterrent, but as an opportunity for us to trust and watch God overcome these obstacles. But just expect to see homeless, right? Expect to see drugs, rats. Never had a problem with any of these, but we will keep you safe. But just wanted to make sure that you're prepared for that. There will be a lot of walking, so just be aware of that as well, and public transit, just for us to be attentive as we are navigating Harlem. But it's a great trip, a great place. Our partners do a great job in hosting us, and it's a lot of fun to go and serve. Next trip is Rwanda in Africa. We'll be serving with Harvest Mahoko, the church that Pastor John and Pastor Joel pastor. The price for that is $3,000. This covers flights, baggage, visa, food, lodging. Look, I know that's pretty pricey, but 2 years ago, it was $2,800. So it's not that much more expensive, just inflation, right? Dates for that, June 21st through the 29th. And the hope there is to do construction, some VBS, evangelism in their community. We will also look to do ministry based on the spiritual gifts of the team. So capacity for that is 20, and this will actually be our first trip where we are allowing for high schoolers to join us. So age limit for that is high school and up, but if you're under 18, it is important that you are accompanied by a parent. Okay, so high school and up, under 18 must be accompanied by a parent. Now, if financially you're choosing between this and camp, don't let this take you away from what God is going to do at camp. We want to make sure that we're working alongside of them and prioritizing the ministry there. Just things to be prepared for in Rwanda that may bring a little bit of discomfort. It is a pretty long flight. The travel time could be between 18 to 24 hours, but it's broken up into multiple flights, which is really nice. You can get out and walk a little bit. There's a lot of good food, but some of that food is goat, right? Fish with the bone in. You'll be fine. The food is actually really good. It's third world, possibly cold showers and mosquitoes, but thank God for the health benefit of cold showers and bug repellent, okay? So all that stuff is available to you. It's a beautiful place, and it's a place that at some point in your life you would want to visit, and it's a great mission trip for us in our church. Last trip, India. Now we're serving with For All Mankind Movement, FAM. Price for that is $2,800. Because of timing and price, the payment plan will be a bit different. $25 deposit is due on March 30th. We'll have you give $975 by April 30th and $1,000 to complete your payment by August the 13th. Dates of mission trip training will remain the same for India, but you will have multiple gatherings after. The dates for that are October 16th through 24th. And what we'll be doing in India, something that we do every time with FAM, that's these compassion kit parties that allows for us to go and meet a humanitarian need while also sharing the gospel and praying for people. We'll do house visits to care for people, sharing the gospel through stories, prayer, all the good things. And so it's really rich. This trip has less capacity for us. We have 5 slots open. If there is more interest, we can look into another trip. So if you want to sign up for this, there will be a backlog, and depending on how many people we have there, we can add another trip potentially. Age limit for this one is 18 and up. Again, just some disclaimers really quickly about India. I've never had spicy food there, but I'm sure that there is opportunity to have spicy food. There's bathrooms in the ground, my opinion, no different than a porta potty. And it's not always like that, but in some villages it may be like that. There's farm animals around, there in a culture like that. A lot of times as they're cooking, they cook the whole animal. In that culture, they love touch. I'm particularly someone who doesn't love touch, but to serve them, I love the touch. So just to hug and shake hands and hand on arms, just be expecting that. And then, we want to receive their hospitality well. FAM always communicates where God calls you, he also calls your stomach. And I'll tell you, I have personally been fine with all the meals that I've had in India, so you should be fine as well. So we will go through these things in our mission trip trainings, but just wanted to make sure that you understood that. Also, the flights to India are similar to Africa. They're pretty long. Okay, for me, I'm going to conclude my time by talking about expectations for you to go on these trips. First one, you must be a follower of Jesus. because all of these have some component of sharing the gospel, it's important that you have submitted your life to the gospel. So we ask that you be a follower of Jesus. Second thing, you must be an active participant of this church, which means that you're worshiping, that you're a part of the Sunday morning gathering, and it'll be good for you to fill out the register as we present that every Sunday morning, that you're walking with the Lord, that you're in a DG or at the least on a wait list, that you're working for Christ, so that you're on a serve team, and witness, that you have a regular rhythm of witness. Because if you aren't going to share here, we shouldn't develop the bad habit of you being okay to share somewhere else. So if you have legit circumstances that are keeping you from these things, from this 4W life, let's set up a meeting, a phone call, or shoot me an email. But I ask, please don't set up a meeting trying to convince me why you aren't doing it when you have capacity to do it, because I won't change my mind on that. It's important that we have people who are living out the mission that God has called them to in this context. There will be an application process during the registration process, so we'll be able to kind of vet that and see how you're serving and all these things. And again, just hear me say this. If you are not doing these things, we will not approve you. If you are not on the DG wait list, we will not approve you. We've already communicated that we desire these things, and so please just make sure that you're living out the 4W life before you sign up for a trip. But now, how to make these things happen, I'm going to have Olivia Hogan come up, and she can bring clarity to all the things that I just put before you.
So I'm going to talk about some logistics, so that way you have everything that you need to be able to apply and come on a trip with us. So first, we're going to talk about registration. Our registration for mission trips opens today at 5 p.m., January 25th, 5 p.m. registration opens. It closes March 30th at 11:59 p.m. Open January 25th, closes March 30th. So it's the only time that you can apply for a mission trip. Next, I'm going to talk about how do you apply for a mission trip? Where do I find this? How do I do this? So what you're going to do is you can either go to the events tab on our app, and you'll see a mission trips interest. That's where you can complete your application. You can go online to our website, and in our witness page, there is going to be a link for you to be able to go to our registration page. Or in the description of this video, there'll be a link to that registration. So in that registration, once you get there, you're going to complete the application. I will warn you that this is a lengthy application. This will take you some time. As Corey just talked about, it's important that we vet you. We know that you are living out the 4W life. And so this application hits on all of those different bases. And so just spend time on that. We'd love to see how the Lord is working in and through you in the application. After you submitted the application, our witness team, our staff will review that. And then whether you are denied or approved, you will get email communication. So you don't need to reach out to us like, hey, just checking on my application. We will communicate you either way, whatever decision is made. If you are approved, you receive in your confirmation email a link where you can pay your $25 deposit. I'll talk about that in just a second, but you'll have a link to be able to pay for your $25 deposit and your full payments due at a later date, which I'll talk about too in just a minute. So after you've received those, you've been approved for your trip. After you've made your final payments, you've attended your mission trips, your mission trip trainings, then you're good to go on your trip. So let me touch back on then a couple of things I mentioned here. So your $25 deposit after you've been approved on a trip is due March 30th. That's the same date that our registration closes. So for every trip, $25 needs to be due by March 30th, and that will stamp your approval for that trip that you're good to go. From there, all final payments are due on April 30th except for India. So whether you're going to Harlem, Indianapolis, or Rwanda, your full payments are due April 30th. And if your final payments are not due, you will be at risk of losing your spot on a trip. We don't say this just because we are like money hungry, but we say this because it's important for us to have those finances so that way we can book flights, that we can take care of any other materials for your trips. And so we tried to push those dates back as far as we could, but we do need you to have your finances due by April 30th. So after those are due, except again, India has a special payment plan. You can see that on the information, but it's due August 13th. Next, we're going to talk about mission trip trainings. So after you did your deposit, you'll have some mission trip trainings to go to. These are required trainings. For you to go on your trip, these are required. We have 2 full group gatherings. Those are going to be on April 9th and April 23rd. Those are Thursday nights, Thursday evenings. And so those will be 2 gatherings that you're required to come to. And then in trip specifics, you're going to each have 2 to 3 trip specific gatherings as well that are in addition to those 2 Thursday nights. We feel strongly about you guys making it to these mission trip trainings because we want you to be able to be effective on the field. We don't want to have to try to get you caught up. You don't know where you're supposed to be, but we want us to be able to go into our trips knowing already what our scope of ministry is, knowing that we already are trained for this so we can be effective, we can be in a posture of prayer, we can be expectant for the Lord to work already in that. So that's why these mission trip trainings are required. If you're a couple and you have kids at home, send one parent and they can be the representative for your family on that trip, but at least one of you needs to be here. If you have any questions about this, contact Corey. You can email him at Corey at Redeemer Bible Church if you have any questions about mission trip trainings and reasons why you shouldn't be there, because we really need you guys to be there. And we're giving you these dates 4 months ahead of time, so please plan accordingly for this. And lastly, I want to talk about support raising. So we want you guys to be able to come on these trips, and we know that that finances can play a role into this. So we're not going to manage your finances. We're not going to be reaching out to you all the time saying, hey, you have $500 left to pay. Are you getting that in? But we will, however, send out periodic email reminders that will include your remaining balance on there. But we also want to give you tools in order to support raise. And so with your approval email, you'll receive a support raising letter and a support raising slip. These are tools that you can use to reach out to friends, family, and ask them to be a part of your sending process, for them to partner with you through prayer and through finances, so that way you guys can go on these trips. And I'll just share with you that throughout all of our trips, whenever someone has faithfully used these tools to support raise, the Lord has provided the funds for them to go. So we really want you guys to be able to go, and we can train you and coach you on how to support raise as well. So that is all our specific details. Again, registration opens today, 5 p.m., and closes March 30th. If you have any questions regarding registration, please email me at olivia@redeemerbible.church. And if you have any questions about trips, trip details, please email Corey at redeemerbible.church. So we're excited for the Lord to work in and through these trips, and we just pray that you would join us and that the Lord would just be sovereign over that. So you are loved and you are sent. Have a good day.